One day it is said that there is a house in the middle of the forest which is inhabited by a mother and child. The child of the mother is still relatively young. The next time the child was in the yard to play. At the same time came a deer. The deer tried to put its antlers into the little boy's clothes, so that the little boy is like being lifted up on the antlers of a deer. Instantly the child was afraid of the deer and cried while screaming for his mother. Reflexively, the mother came out of the house and began to see what was happening. Unexpectedly, the child had been taken away into the forest by a deer. The mother tried with all her might to chase the deer into the forest. But when they got to the forest, the child brought by the deer was already in a large grassy area and playing as usual. The mother was so happy to have found her child and started to carry her child. They returned to the house where they lived. But what happened, it turned out that the house had been crushed by a large tree. Of course, the condition of the house is falling apart. The mother started to think if she was still inside without chasing the child, what would happen to her? Suddenly he remembered that several years earlier he had saved a fawn from being targeted by hunters. The mother covered the fawn with various kinds of cloth so that the hunters would not get caught. When the hunters were gone, the mother took the cloth that covered the deer and started releasing the deer into the forest. Unexpectedly, the deer carrying her child was the deer she had saved earlier. It was as if the deer was trying to thank the mother by taking her son to run to the forest to save the mother's family from the fall of the fallen tree. From this incident, the mother said to her child that if she helps all of God's creatures, even if it's the slightest bit, it will still come back to us. From this little story, we can also learn how important it is to help God's creatures without distinguishing anything. Because all the seeds of goodness that we plant, we will reap in the future.